as a block, and if you don't have a block, just a tissue box or something will be fine. And just your normal things that you would need to sit on. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start by just a little bit of movement, like we always do. So I am gonna just start by moving however you feel like you wanna move, and then we're going to start slow the movement down. So just do what your body kind of is asking for right now. There we go. We have Melvina joining. Good morning. So we're starting this morning standing up, and all you will need is a block. And we're just starting with a little bit of movement like we always do. So whatever your body is feeling for, just move in that way. And we're going to slow it down soon. So we're still going to do this like organic free movement, but I'm just going to ask you to slow it down. So now I want you to just slow your movement down. So still move in however you want to move. I just want you to slow the movement down and just see where you can get that movement. Just feel it, just like you're doing a slow dance maybe. So I'm just like swimming my arms in and out. So again, this is however you want to do it. I'm going to move and bring in my ribs now. So I'm just going to open wide, like swan arms, I don't know, or wings. I'm going to bring them in and kind of curl my spine. And come up. And again, there's no wrong way to do this. I just want you to move freely, however that feels for you, or whatever that means for you. And I'm going to just start moving the hips now. Up, moving the arm, feet, and the legs now up and down. I'm going to take one arm now. I'm going to take both arms and make big circles backwards. And I'm going to, as I'm doing this, I'm taking big breaths in through the nose and letting it out either through the nose or the mouth. And I'm going to move now the arms. I'm going backwards. I'm going to come forwards with the arms. And I'm going to try to keep the ribs still while I'm doing this, okay? And now I'm going to move the arms in opposite directions, like you're swimming. So you're going to move a bit in the ribs. Try not so much twisting, okay, in the lower part of our bodies, keeping the twist around the ribs, okay? So even looking down and making sure your feet are about hip-width distance apart and the toes are spread nice and wide, really grounding down through the feet now. Staying with the breath, we're going to take the arms going the opposite way, so like you're doing the backstroke. And again, nice and slow. Twisting to one side, twisting to the other and back. And now I'm just going to take the arms like we were doing earlier, and I'm just bringing them together and tucking here. So a little bit of like a cat-cow movement, you may say, but I'm bringing the arms open and then lifting my chest to the sky and then closing them and just hinging here through the thoracic spine. And open, stretching the arms back, lifting the chest to the sky, and then closing and rolling like you're doing that cat-cow movement, okay? Just one more. And now we're going to move right into the neck. So circles with the neck now. Come back to your breath. Maybe put a hand on your belly. Remind your belly to relax. Big deep breaths in where you're really filling the lungs, okay? Feeling the ribs expand as you fill the lungs. So just very gentle, okay? All the rest of our body is nice and relaxed, and gentle circles with the neck. So I'm going around in the opposite direction now, and just imagine your nose on the numbers of a clock going around. And enjoying it, enjoying this movement. Bringing the head up, probably just a little tick-tock from one side to the other. And now when you're on one side, tuck the chin a little tiny bit and extend. So on my right ear to right shoulder, extend the left arm. Take a breath. Exhale, come up. And then I'm going to take the left ear to the left shoulder. I'm tucking the chin just a little bit and taking a breath, letting the belly relax. Extending the left or the right arm, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. And exhale and come up. Extend the arms now out in front of you. So the palms are facing. Good morning. So just starting with our Monday movement here for the people just coming in. So stretching the arms out with the palms facing up and just really pushing the arms forward. And now I just want you to bring the palms down and up. And down, the hands going down, so just bending at the wrist and coming up and really reaching your fingers back towards your face. And now see if you can bring your arms nice and wide out to your side. The shoulders are going to want to come up to the ears, so let's keep the shoulders down. You may want to lower your arms a little bit to do that and come forward. And then open a little bit wider. You don't have to have your arms flexed anymore. Palms facing towards the wall in front of you now. Bringing the arms down towards your sides. Take a big breath. Exhale, bring the arms up. Keep the ribs where they are. Breath here, reach out to the sides. And exhale, come and down. Let's get a little bit of movement in the jaw now. So I'm just going to move my jaw from side to side. Open the mouth really wide. And then just have some fun moving the face. Maybe scrunching the face up. And then wide. Okay, maybe even taking the hands now. We're going to start right above the nose, above the eyebrows. And I'm just pulling the skin back. Really good for the sinuses, actually. So just starting there above the eyebrows and pulling that skin apart. And I'm going to move now all the way down along my jawline, so around here by the temples, and I'm going to come all the way down and under the jaw. And you're going to use your fingers, or you can use the palms, pads of your hands. I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to move all the way down. And as you're moving down, you're going to jut your jaw open and out like an underbite, and then come under the jaw. We'll do that again. So starting above or around the eyebrows and just following the bone there. And you'll come to the cheekbones and then come all the way over the cheekbones and down into your jaw. Jut the jaw into an underbite. Don't clench your teeth, have the teeth apart. And there we go. Let's shake out the arms. Let's do a little internal and external rotation with the arms. Come back to the breath. So I'm just moving the arms. It doesn't matter which plane you're on, wherever it feels good for you, and just trying to get that internal and external rotation right in the shoulder sockets. Okay. So today we're going to work on a little bit of, we're going to do a little bit of lunging, some squats, and we're going to end the last half of the class with some ab work, okay? So I shouldn't say ab work, I should say core work. Okay, so we're going to start with the feet. We're not going to do the traditional chair pose with the feet together. We're going to have the feet about hip-width distance apart and come to the top of your mat. Spread your toes nice and wide. And remember, we often have a tendency to hang out like this, right? So, yeah, we actually do. We see it a lot. So we're actually going to push our weight back into the heels, spread the toes, but push down through all the feet. And maybe a little external rotation, like you're going pretending or getting that feeling like you're moving the feet wide, okay? Now, you don't have to stay here stiffly, just that feeling, but to let go a little bit. You don't have to be holding it and everything being very stiff. Okay, and we're gonna just practice first just sitting back, so just coming back to sit in chair. So my back, I'm just hinging at the hips. I'm not rolling over in my back, just a little hinge and come up. A little hinge, like the chair is very low, like a stool. I'm just gonna come down and come up. Notice how that feels for you, okay? Now don't arch the back. So I can be arching the back and the ribs, like a rib thrust going on to sit back. That's not what I want. I want you to keep the ribs down. The only hinging is at the hips. Okay, and come up. I like having my hands in prayer for this one. So again, making sure as well to tuck the chin, keeping the neck nice and long, and you're just hinging at the hips coming down. Now push out of your feet to come up. Okay, do it again. Breath in, come down. Exhale, push and come up. Now you may want to come down a little lower this time, maybe not, okay? So again, feet in, toes nice and wide, just hinging at the hips. So you're just pushing back, but you may want to do it with your ribs thrusting like this. Try to keep the ribs in, okay? We're working with the mobility in the hips here. So I'm just coming down. This time I'm going to hold. I'm just going to hold in this chair position. Exhale, I'm pushing up with my feet nice and slow. I'm not just coming up really quickly. Let's come down again. Take a breath here. Hold. Exhale, push up. Inhale, come down. Hold. See if you're thrusting up. Bring the ribs in. I'm just holding here for a minute. Nice strong legs. I can feel the glutes working because I'm pressing down, kind of making that little rotation with the feet here. And exhale, come up. I'm going to do it one more time. Come down, hold, and maybe you want to do a little twist here. Maybe not. You can continue to hold, or remember, just twist through the thoracic spine. I'm going to twist over to the left and hold and breathe. One more breath. Exhale, center, and push out of your feet to come up. Take a breath. And let the belly relax. Notice when you were doing that, if you were holding tension somewhere else. Were you clenching your teeth? Were you holding it in your face? Okay, so we're going to do it one more time with a twist to the other side. So I'm going to bring my hands in prayer and pushing down at the feet. Come down to wherever it's comfortable for you. Take a breath. Exhale, twist to the other side. So it's not a big twist, it's a little twist, and I'm holding it but breathing gently. And one more breath. And exhale, center, and standing up. Give that a shake. Come to the top of your mat again. Pushing down the feet, toes nice and spread out wide. Feet about hip width distance apart. Pushing down into the floor, weight back over your heels, chin tucked a little bit, putting the weight now into the left foot. So you're pushing out of the left is making the right hip come up. So pushing out of there. Bring the knee up now. See, nice and slow, nice and gentle. Bring the knee up and bring it down. Again, push out of the left, knee up. Exhale, bringing the leg back. Put your hands onto your ASISs, your hip bones. See what's happening when you bring your leg back, okay? You may want a shorter stance. If you're dropping into it and this hip is pointing down towards the floor, your hip bone, short for today, just shorten. I'm not saying there's much wrong with that, but for today, just shorten your stance, okay? Plug the front leg in so your two hip bones come forward like headlights of a car. Just holding it here. I got a considerable bend in my back leg for now. I'm taking some breaths. I'm getting situated and comfortable. I need to bring my, I'm feeling like bringing my toes back a little bit more. No arching in the spine. Okay, no arching, no rib thrusting. Keeping the ribs in. Staying here. You can stay here and hold, or we can come down and up a couple times. So you choose what you want to do today and what's good for you. So inhale, come down. Exhale, push out of this leg and come up. You can come up to two straight legs if you want. So coming down. Exhale, push out of that front leg. Push and come up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come down. Hold. Exhale, push and come up. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale, down. Exhale, push, push, push. Feeling the glutes. Turn on the glutes. Exhale, push, 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 push. Inhale, come down, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Hands can be in prayer. Hold, hold, hold. Calm breath. What's going on in the body? Check in. Oh, exhale, push and come up. And now spring off this back leg to come up and meet the right. Knee bent. Don't come down yet. Knee bent. Exhale, push that knee back again. Push that leg back again. We're coming back into this leg. Stay here. So I've come down a little tiny lunge. Stay there. Make sure that leg is plugged in. I'm going to bring the hands in prayer now. Come into that little tiny twist. So I'm just coming into a twist. I'm twisting towards that front leg. And twist, a little tiny twist and hold. Exhale, twist back, push off that leg and come up. Whew. And shake that out and we'll move to the other leg. Give it a little wiggle. Come back to your breath. Okay, so standing here now, really pushing out of the right. So spread the toes nice and wide. Push out of that leg. It's bringing this hip up a little higher, okay? So again, just do that a couple times. Come down. Bringing it up again, pushing out of this leg, pushing out of the floor. Your feet, toes are wide, push out of the floor. Bring this knee up now and down. Up. And now step it all the way back, all the way back. Put your hands on your hip bones. See what's going on. Are your hip bones coming out this way? That means you need to plug this leg in. Hip bones forward. Get that comfortable stance for you, okay? Knee over the ankle on the front foot. Do not arch. Staying here, getting your balance. If you need to use a wall for this, no issues. Go ahead, use the wall. Breathe in, take a breath. Exhale, just holding for the moment. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna start moving down. The knee don't have to touch the floor, just coming up, and you can also straighten this top front leg too as you come up. So I'm coming down, keeping the knee over the ankle, and come up. You may feel like you need to spread your legs a little bit or bring them closer together. Go ahead and come down, take a breath. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Sorry, exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. Exhale, push into that front foot, come up. Try to turn on the glutes on the right side now. Exhale, push up. Inhale, come down. Hold. Exhale, push up. Inhale, come down. Hold, hold, hands in prayer. Exhale, push, come up. Inhale, down. Exhale, push. And now spring off this back leg and bring yourself up. Keep the knee up, 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 up. Take a breath, hold. Exhale, down. Pushing out of that right leg, really push out of that leg, bring the leg up again, inhale. Exhale, push the leg back, coming back into this again. Knee over ankle, spread the toes, push out of that foot. Come up. Inhale, come down. Exhale, push out of that foot, push up. Inhale, exhale, come down and hold. Hands in prayer. A little twist now over to the right. So just twisting from the thoracic spine here. Hands in prayer, a little twist. Hold and breathe. It's okay if you're wobbly. I am too this morning. Exhale out of that twist. Take a breath. Exhale, lunge off this back. You can use your arms and come up, knee up, and knee down. Give that a little tiny wiggle from side to side. Going to take the feet now, still with hip width distance apart. I'm just going to go into our little squats now, okay? So working a lot on the glutes, the legs. So feet hip width distance apart, spread the toes, push out of the feet nice and tall, but not with the arch in the back. Keep the ribs down. And a little squat again. Let's squat down, push up. Inhale, squat down. Exhale, pushing out of the feet, really feeling the legs turn on, feel those muscles engage. Bring the legs a little wider. Make sure the toes are level on the same plane, okay? And again, we're just gonna come down. And exhale, push out of both of the feet and push up really strong, okay? Inhale, come down. Don't clench your teeth or your face. Exhale. If you want to have a chair behind you, because you don't have to come all the way down, okay? So you can have the chair behind you and press your butt onto the chair and come up. Okay. Last one more down. Exhale, push yourself up. Nice strong legs. Wiggle it out. Open your legs a little wider. My feet are going to go out a little bit to the sides as I come down a little, or as I come down a little wider, deeper, and as my legs are a bit wider. So take a breath. Exhale, remember the hinges at the hips. The butt goes back, bending in the knees. Don't matter how far you come down, okay? Exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. Exhale, push up. You can bring your arms in if you want. Inhale, come down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, down. Exhale, push out of the feet and come up. Inhale, down. Exhale, push. One more hold. Inhale, down. You can bring the arms back into prayer wherever you want them. Hold. Exhale, up. Oh, do we have one more? Inhale, down. Little twist from side to side. Exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, forward. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, forward. Exhale, push and come up. Oh, let's wiggle that out. Toes, heels, pivot together, and let's just shake it out. Good movement for this morning. While I'm doing this, lifting one shoulder to the ear and twisting, or like wiggling my hips with it. Okay. Bend one knee, bend the other. Excellent, guys. It's a lot of hard work this morning. We're going to come down to the floor now. Come down safely, carefully, thoughtfully as you come down. So one nice way to come down is either stepping your foot forward, or you can step your foot back. And I'm just going to lower down. Okay. We're going to come on to hands and knees. So if you need something under your knees, please grab that now, just to give yourself a little bit of padding under the knees. We're on hands and knees. So if you have wrist issues, this may or may not be good for you. There's options. You can come down onto your forearms. If you're coming down to your forearms, I would put something underneath just so that you can still maintain that height for your knees. If you don't like things, if you have sore knees, what I like to do is put a bolster or pillow or a roll mat or something underneath on my shins. So when I'm down on my hands and knees, my knees are not actually touching the floor, okay? So it's just my shins. Is really, really nice, feels really good. Just a couple options there I want to throw in. Come down onto your hands and knees. Again, we're just gonna start with a little bit of movement. I like to spread my fingers nice and wide, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're just gonna, again, move like we did this morning or at the beginning of the class, just nice organic movements. So I'm just gonna go in circles here, bringing my hips to one side, moving all the way around, doing nice big circles with my body. Moving with my breath. Remember your breath, don't clench anywhere. Nice fluid movements. So I'm just going around in the other direction. And now I'm going to come up to all fours. And we're going to go into a little segmental cat-cow. But first what I want you to do is just push out of those arms. I want you to get that wrapping feeling in your shoulders so you're nice and stable in the shoulders, okay? So it's almost like I'm pushing my hands into the floor with a little tiny bend in the elbows, and I'm kind of like wrapping my arms so it's like I'm feeling like I'm externally rotating the shoulders, okay? And segmental cat-cow we're going to go into now. So we're starting at the pelvis always. So I'm starting with no arch in my back. And I'm going to start with the pelvis by sending my tailbone up to the sky. And I'm going to move all the way up my spine, thinking like I'm moving one vertebra at a time. So now I'm in this sunken cow position, coming into the cat now, pushing out of my shoulders. Start with the pelvis. So now I'm going to bring my pelvis under. So I'm tucking my pelvis under. I'm going to move up my spine. I'm going to try to move up nice and slow. And now I've ended up looking between my legs. And now I'm going to arch again by my pelvis. I'm poking my pelvis up to the sky, or my tailbone up to the sky, sinking, 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 and trying to move up my spine. Nice and slow. One more time, start from the tailbone, tucking it under, moving up the spine, nice and slow. Take a breath. And then come back, starting with the pelvis, coming back to that neutral spine. Spreading the knees open, wide to each corner of your mat, bring the toes together, and we're just gonna come into this child's pose. Don't worry if your head don't come to the floor, you can come onto your forearms. Many options here. I want you to just come into a place of rest for you. So if this is not restful at all, if this is really hard on your hips, please, you don't have to come into child's pose. Come up, take a rest, take some breaths wherever you are. Okay, coming back down onto hands and knees. Coming into some ab work now. So again, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, nice, strong, stable shoulders. And what we're going to do now is we're going to lift the right hand, and we're just lifting it about 1 inch off the floor, half an inch even, and we're going to lift the left knee, or the right knee, opposite knee to the hand, and you're just going to hold and bring their leg down. And notice what's happening in your core. If you feel, and go to the other side, guys, just lift the other. If you feel that your belly is kind of like popping out, like in the front, like this big, try to relax that a little bit, and maybe it may be enough for you to just start with lifting one leg, one knee, and then lifting the other, so without the hands, okay? So you find where you feel like this is good for you. So just lifting that opposite hand and knee off the floor just 1 inch, and breathing. Trying to let the belly kind of relax. And come down and come to the other side. Try to maintain a nice, easy breath here. And if you feel like your abs are super engaged, try to relax the belly a little bit. We are doing ab work here. We're actually doing some work for the multifidus muscle as well in the back. So just lifting one hand, lifting the opposite knee, trying to be as stable as you can, okay? So you're trying to move from one to the other as stable as you can. And only hold for as long as you feel like you can without losing integrity in your body, okay? So we're gonna come and do one more on each side. Breathe, because we tend to hold our breath when things get difficult. Come down, really push out a nice strong shoulder, tiny micro bend in this elbow. And release. Time for a rest. So you come into your child's pose. I like having child's pose, legs, knees apart, toes together. Come down. In this child's pose, this variation, spread the arms out in front of you. Head to the floor, or head to the bolster or a pillow. And take a rest and a breath. And come up. And come back into hands and knees. Some more ab work here. Pushing out, hands underneath the shoulders. And now this time, nice strong shoulders. I'm wrapping the shoulders. I'm going to press the right foot back, okay? Pressing the right foot back and then lifting the leg up to about pelvis height. Take a breath. And come down. And we're going to just go back and forth. So lifting, take a breath, hold, really push the heel out and come down. Other side. I like to push the leg out. So straighten the leg out first, lift, push the heel. Breath. Breathe. Relax the face. Come down. Slide the leg out, lift up, flex the heel. Neck nice and long, tuck the chin if you want. And come down. Take a rest here if you need it. If not, continue. Leg out, lift the leg. Now this time, you can, this is an option. If you're already having some issues doing the leg out, or it's just very strenuous for you, stay there. Especially if your wrists and everything are getting tired, take a rest, okay? You don't have to do all of this class. Take a rest. Join in whenever it feels good for you in your body. So this time I'm gonna put out the right leg, lift, heel is reaching out to the floor. Lift the opposite arm, make a light fist, gentle fist. Breathe. Exhale, bring the knee in towards the elbow. I don't want to arch in the back, so we're not arching like this. We're keeping the back nice and straight and stable. Keep the ribs in. Gentle fist. Inhale, reach. Exhale together. Inhale, reach. Exhale together. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale together. Come down. Take a rest. Take a break. Come into child's pose. This version of child's pose, my knees are together. You can try that. And reaching out. I'm keeping my ribs, no rib thrust here. Head is not coming down to the floor. Coming up into my fingertips here. Taking a breath. Come back to the breath. Enjoy it. Inhale, come up. Give yourself a little wiggle, a little room. You may want to flick your wrists. Okay, so just one more now on the opposite side. So extending my left leg now. Let's get this. And you may want to just stay here working on your leg and holding the leg up, taking a breath and bringing it in, okay? Or you can come right into bird dog with me. I'm reaching the leg out, lifting the leg, pointing the heel. The opposite arm comes out. Breath. Next, exhale. Bring the knee and the elbow together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, together. Notice, inhale, reach. If you're swaying over to one side, trying to be nice and stable, reach. Exhale, together. Inhale, hold, reach. And exhale, together. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale together. Woo, and that's it. Go for a little relax, child's pose. I'm going to relax by bringing my knees in together. I'm bringing my heels in together to touch. Toes tucked. I'm going to arch now my back a little bit. Walk my hands back. And so I'm sitting. And even some of us might be able to get that feeling like our heels are kind of underneath our sit bones, okay? Staying here, beautiful stretch for the feet. If it's too much for your feet, just take a bit of your weight off. Otherwise, come and sit on your heels. And come back to your breath. Notice how all of this is feeling for you this morning. Movement in the morning. I love it. Maybe a little neck stretch from side to side while you're here. Coming right onto our backs now with a little bit more core work and ending in our Shavasana, okay? So if you need a little bit of cushioning under your head or anything, you can set that up right now. We're going to come into our boat pose to come down to laying on our backs. Again, this is not going to be for everybody. It's quite hard to do. So you can just practice a little bit by my feet are about hip-width distance apart. I don't want to be slouching. Nice flat back, okay? Tucking the chin, keeping the neck nice and long. You may want to practice by just lifting one foot. You can hold your behind your thighs here and lifting the other. And coming down, you can do that. Or we can try to roll all the way down. So if you're going to roll all the way down, stick your feet to the floor. Don't let them come up. And we're going to roll down, okay? So I'm tucking just like we did the cat-cows. Tucking the pelvis under. And I'm going to keep my chin kind of tucked towards my chest. And I'm going to roll down. I'm going to try to go very slow. My feet are going to really want to come off the floor, but I'm not going to let them stick them down. And I'm going to roll as slow as I can go. And I'm rolling now. Oh, and I'm going to keep going with my arms, extend them behind me, extend my legs. Oh, reach the heels, reach out to the heels, reach out to the arms. Nice big stretch. And bringing the arms down to your sides. And bending your knees. Making sure your back of your ribs are touching the floor. Find your pelvis here. Try to get it in a neutral-ish, whatever that is for you. I like to take my hands on my hip bones, one on my pubic bone here, and try to get that at kind of the same plane. So you can do a little bit of tucking and untucking of the pelvis to find that spot for you. You should have a little space in the lower back. Most people will, not everybody. Some people may just naturally be flat to the floor. I'm tucking my shoulders under my shoulder blades so that they're nice and flat on my back. My arms are out to their sides. We're going to just lift the right foot now about 3 inches off the floor. Okay, you got that? Let's lay it down. Let's lift the other one. 3 inches off the floor. Notice what's engaging here. I want you to take your hands and inside of your hip bones, there's muscles there, transverse abdominis, also other muscles joining there as well. And I want you to feel them engage when you lift your foot, okay? And as soon as you feel like they've lost, like you couldn't hold it and other muscles are taking over, drop the foot. So let's lift one foot off the floor. Now let's try to bring the other foot up to match it and see what happens. Now right foot down, left foot down. What happened? Did your back really arch off the floor? You may want to go down back to the 1 foot, but what you're trying to do is you're going to try to lift the left foot now 3 inches, right foot 3 inches. You're going to hold unless a bunch of stuff starts to happen. So if you feel like you've lost engagement, there's other things. So let's go right foot up, left foot 3 inches, okay? And breathe. Try to breathe through this. I like feeling the muscles here contract. Okay, right foot down, left foot down. Take a breath, take a relax, left foot up, right foot up. My back, I know, wants to arch like this, right? It's an indication of weakness in those muscles, which is fine. Like, right foot up, left foot up. Hold. Left foot down, right foot down. I forget. We're going in the opposite. Left, right, up. And down. I'm just feeling for all the contraction happening in my stomach. Right, left. Hold. Are you starting to tense in other places? Just notice, not to judge it. It's just like, I'm feeling tension even right up to my neck, right? So I'm trying to relax the rest of my body and just let these abs do the work, okay? Left foot, right foot, hold. Try to breathe. Because that's the thing, we may be able to hold here with holding our breath, but you want to be able to, you can go to the other side, by the way, last one. You want to be able to hold, but breathe. So if you can't hold without holding your breath, we need to start coming back to another variation. Bring the toe, do the same thing, but just leave the toe on the floor. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So another variation is to do this, but just lift the heels and let the toes lightly, just so you have a little tiny bit of support there, okay? And then bring them down in the other. Okay, let's rest here. If you want to move here, go ahead and move. You can windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Check my notes because I always have the classes made way too long. So I feel like I'm going to fit way more in than I do. So I just want to look and see what I want to do with you guys next before we go into Shavasana, which is the best. And still windshield wipering my legs back and forth. So this time I'm going to raise my legs now up in the air. And maybe you even want to just do a little bit of movement here with the legs up in the air. Another thing when your legs are up in the air, if you feel that's really uncomfortable, you can take something and put it under your pelvis, okay? This is great for if you find it really hard to put your legs up in the air like this or even like this. Put something under here. Try it right now, even if you don't have issues doing it. It's just really, really comfortable. So again, ribs on the floor, shoulder blades flat on my back. Just gonna raise the legs down. And I'm just gonna bring the legs from side to side. So I'm just rocking really slow from side to side. Again, feeling it in the abs. My legs are like a tabletop here. I'm not bringing my knees together, hip width distance apart, and I'm just swaying from side to side. You can flex the heels a little bit, like dorsiflex the feet a little tiny bit. So when you're coming from side to side, I want you to make sure that your knees stay on the same plane. So you can stay here or you can come over a little tiny bit more. I'm really feeling your abs doing the work, okay? The abs are lifting you, so it's like you're lifting the side of your pelvis off the floor. So come to one side and like you're lifting the pelvis off the floor. Move to the other side. It's like you're lifting the pelvis off the floor and come back. But when you're doing it, one knee is not coming out over the other. You're trying to keep the knees on the same plane, okay? So when you come over to the right, when you get over so far, you may want to lift the pelvis off the floor a little and come back. Come to the other side, lift the pelvis and come back. Take breaks whenever you need it, okay? And if you want, you can try it a little bit further. So come up a little further, we're way over to your side. Make sure the knees, because one knee, the bottom knee may be way over the top knee. So bring that top knee by lifting the pelvis up so that the knees are level, okay? Come to the other side, lift that pelvis up. Whew, really feeling the work in the abs. Moving side to side and moving with your breath. Don't forget your breath. Exhale down. Inhale here. Exhale, twist. Exhale down. Inhale down. Move to the other side, guys. Inhale down. Exhale up. Maybe just one more on each side. You can come right over. See how far you can come over. Lift the pelvis. So you're reaching, you're lifting the pelvis, bringing the knee up. And come down. Drop the legs, drop the feet to the floor. And any kind of movement now, we're going to be moving right into Shavasana. So I'm going to, before we move into it, I'm going to bring my knees up, reach my arms out straight, hold on to my knees, and I'm going to give a little rock to my lower back. So a little massage on my lower back. So just little circles on the sacrum there, your lower back. So whatever last movements you feel like you need, you go ahead and do that now. So we're going to move right into Shavasana. So you can get ready for that as well. Okay. So get settled here to just now let your body completely relax. So I like having something under my head. You can stretch. You can keep the feet like this. I'd like to mention that if you do keep your feet like this for about 10 minutes, this is a very beautiful psoas release, okay? For your psoas muscles. Yeah, simply this. But if you want to have your legs straight, that's amazing as well. So get comfortable, whatever that means for you. Legs up the wall is also very nice. And now let's just get settled in here. So let's start with our breath. Start with the top of our head. And just our whole head. Feeling the head heavy. Just create a little space between your teeth. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And let the space between your eyebrows relax, your forehead relax. Your temples. Feel your cheeks relax. Feel the skin relax on your face. Feel your head heavy. And moving down the neck and into the backs of your shoulders and letting all of those muscles release. So these traps, let them release. You can have your hands on your one hand on your belly, one on your heart, or arms outstretched. Bring your attention to your arms and let your arms be heavy. And let your shoulders be heavy. With every exhale, your whole back body is sinking into the earth. So letting go. Noticing your breath, if your hand is on your belly, noticing the belly, rising and falling. Allow your focus to rest on your body and how it feels from head to toe. Allowing your pelvis to be heavy. Visualizing your hip sockets and your big leg bones and all that musculature around the joint, around the hip joint. Relaxing, moving down to the rest of your legs. Right down to your toes. Whole body feeling heavy. Heavy but weightless at the same time. Check in again. Did some tension creep in around the face, around the shoulders, the abdomen, the pelvis, even your pelvic floor? Let it all release and rest. It's a great time to set an intention for your day. Not to go over your whole to-do list. Just set nice intention for a positive day, whatever that means to you. Noticing how it feels to rest your body after exertion, and taking this time to offer your body appreciation for all it is capable of. Knowing that this space is here for you whenever you need it throughout the day. Just some quiet time to relax your mind and your body. It's so important. I'm going to leave you guys here. I really encourage you to stay for as long as you need.